Hey guys, so the data for this week's update is now live in game, and we actually have quite a bit of stuff to go through here. So we have the free-to-play First Form Cell, we have the unique equipment for the Zenkai Super Vegeta, and then it looks like we also have a Zenkai Awakening for Heat Dome Trunks, the red Heat Dome Trunks. So that's what we have, and then we also, of course, have probably some other equipment. I think co-op is resetting. PvP is resetting, so we should have a bunch of equipment to go through as well. So this is actually a pretty strong start, I would say, to the Cell Saga campaign. Even though we're not getting a new summonable character, we have a new free-to-play character, we have a new unique equipment. We actually have, so we should have multiple new unique equipments because of co-op and PvP and stuff like that. And then we have a Zenkai, so honestly pretty good. So we'll see what they do next week, but next week I think is going to be either an LF or a Ultra character. We'll see which one it's going to be. Okay, so we'll start with First Form Cell here. Now, I will make one comment before we even start. The past two episode campaigns have been movies and GT. Obviously, you can't really go wrong with just buffing movies. You can't really go wrong with just buffing GT. But if we use prior episode campaigns like the Namek Saga, the Boo Saga, Dragon Ball Saga as examples of what we potentially could see for the Cell Saga campaign, I have been saying this since the very first episode campaign, the Boo Saga, before the 5th anniversary, and I will continue to say this moving forward. They cannot keep prioritizing buffing the sagas. Like, if they try and go all out in buffing the Cell Saga team, I don't think it's going to work too well. Unless they drastically change the way they do it, right? I mean, it potentially could work, but they have to completely change the way that they actually do this. Because they tried buffing Majin Buu Saga during the Majin Buu Saga campaign, colossal failure. They tried buffing the Frieza Saga team during the Frieza Saga campaign. I don't want to call it a colossal failure because the Ginyu Force team technically is Frieza Saga, but I'm going to call that a colossal failure anyway. Because you're not running Namagoku next to the Ginyu characters, right? And even when that campaign was current, it didn't work as a team. Dragon Ball Saga was so bad they had to actually issue like an emergency unique equipment, best unique equipment in the game by far, to even have a chance of that team being relevant. So we'll see how they do the Cell Saga campaign here, but I actually just think it would be a lot better and just easier if they didn't even focus on the Saga. Trying to make these Saga teams work never turns out well. Never does. Okay, so First Form Cell is a yellow defense type. Now, automatically, I am just going to be a bit skeptical of a free-to-play defense type character. The only way I can really see this working pretty well for the Cell is if he has a lot of disrupt mechanics, because let's be honest here, there's no way a free-to-play character is going to be able to tank if summonable characters can't tank. So, like, literally the only character that even can tank at all right now, I would say, is just, like, GT Goku, the Spirit Bomb Goku. There's no other character that's actually tanking. They all have some kind of disrupt, right? Goku and Bardock have the indestructible. Pikkon has a revive. UI Goku has his unique gauge. Like, none of these characters are actually tanking, but they have some kind of disrupt effect, or they have 2 lives, stuff like that. So the Cell really needs some like ridiculous disrupt to actually be able to tank it all. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I assume his offensive stats are going to be completely terrible. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Remember, we got to take away 8,000 here. So he's going to be just barely above 240k strike attack, which, yeah. Defenses are looking good. He's at low 180s, like low to mid 180s. That's pretty solid. I'll take that. Nothing wrong with that. For a free-to-play character, that's not bad. Okay, and then, of course, him being Cell, he is on a lot of teams. Android, Regen, Future, and Powerful Opponent. Yeah, every time we get a new Cell, a lot of teams get impacted because of how many tags their Cell is on. Normal Strike and Blast. Blue card is the Kamehameha. Deals major impact damage, 30% special move damage inflicted upon activation, a minus 100% and key recovery for 10 timer counts. Also destroys all of your enemy's cards if 30 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. That is a brand... We've never seen something like that before. That's a new mechanic. Okay, interesting. I'm actually in the background. I'm pulling up the Heat Dome Trunks because we're gonna have to look at him prior to Zenkai. But that's an interesting mechanic. I mean, they could potentially do this for summonable characters moving forward. I mean, wouldn't necessarily be the same exact effect, right? What if it's gives you a Dragon Ball if used after like 50 counts have elapsed, and it's just you can do it as many times as you want, like that. That could become pretty interesting. Okay, so that is now a thing that they're doing. They are giving these bonus effects to blue cards when bonus effects to blue cards when a certain number of timer counts have elapsed. That's cool. Something new. Okay. The green card is unlock key form of life. So this is a stop time event. It's pretty long. 10% health, 50 key, shorten sub count by 5 to self for 15 counts, cannot be stacked. Seals one enemy card slot randomly for 10 counts. And then the same thing if 30 timer counts have elapsed. Draws a blue card next, and then 50% to the next blue card damage inflicted. Okay, I mean, the shorting sub count by 5 for 15 counts is okay. The problem with this is that it only lasts for 15 counts. I don't think that should be on here. It should just be permanent. I don't really understand that. 15, because remember, you're using this... Well, actually, it doesn't even really matter. Because that's going to activate as soon as you swap out of the character. So unless you're staying in with this cell for 15 counts after using the green card, like, you're going to have this effect up. Because it's going to activate as soon as you switch with the character. Again, this should have been... I don't know. Why is this 15? It should just be permanent. Or not permanent, but it should be active until it's used. Until swap out is what it should be. But, okay, sure. Main ability draws a special arts card next. Okay, so he's drawing the green card on main. 20% health, 50... Or sorry, 20 key. Sorry, I'm so used to for the main giving like 50 key. 20% health and 20 key. Permanent 30% damage. Cancels attribute downgrades in normal conditions. Okay, it's kind of not a great main. It's pretty bad. Well, it is double stop time, which is pretty strong still. 33% to powerful opponent, event exclusive, or Cell Saga. There we go. Here we go, guys. It's time to start buffing the Cell Saga team. You guys excited? Both defenses. All right, so battle start. 90% damage inflicted, reduced damage received by 65%, 50% to key recovery, arts card draws by 1 level. Yeah, again, I'm not going to be super harsh on this free-to-play character and be like, oh my god, he needs 70% reduced damage received. Like, for Bulla, hell yeah, I'm going to be harsh on Bulla because she's summonable. But when it comes to this free-to-play character, like, 65%, okay, fine, whatever. Like, I would like it if it was 70, but we can let it slide, I guess. Also applies the following effects to allies if there is a tag powerful opponent or episode Cell Saga Z battle member other than this character. 20% damage. And then 30% to key recovery. Okay, so he's supporting. Start of the battle. Sure. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. 10% health. That's pretty good. 40% damage inflicted. And then -5 to strike or blast arts cost. 15 counts. Applies the following effects to enemy when they perform a vanishing step. I actually hate this mechanic. This mechanic sucks. When you have to force the enemy to vanish, reduce key by 30, -15% to strike and arts power. I mean, he's got to at least have card destruction on here if this is going to be a good mechanic. Yeah. Following effects occur every time an enemy uses a strike blast or special move arts attack while this character's in the battlefield. So he's actually stacking strike attack. Okay. -10% enemy sustained damage code effects for 10 counts, and then inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus $5 arts cost. That actually could be pretty... So by far the best part of this is the cost. Because this guy's getting comboed, right? And he's just stacking cost increase. That actually is a really strong mechanic. Plus $5 arts cost for 10 counts every time the enemy uses an arts card, essentially. That's pretty good. Okay. I don't really care about the damage at all, honestly, because it's only 10 counts. All right. Applies the following effects to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed from battle start. 10 counts is 30% damage inflicted. 20 counts is 20% to health restoration. So that's not 20% to HP recovery or HP. It's to health restoration. So you're not actually recovering 20% of your health. You're recovering nothing. You're just getting extra health restoration from this. 30 counts is -5 to arts cost, and then 40 counts another 30% damage, and then 30% to blue card damage. Flying effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Restores own key by 30. Okay, that's good. That's going to obviously apply when he switches in. And then -1 to arts card draw speed level. Again, that should just be to all enemies, not to the current enemy. Flying effects occur when landing an arts hit. Heals by 3%, 20% to blast damage. Why? This guy is getting specific strike damage here. And is that it? Just there? There. Yeah, I guess that's it. And then his blast attack stat is like actually terrible. His blast attack stat is 220. 220. Why is this blast damage? This should just be all damage. Reduce enemy key by 25. Nah, worthless. And then plus 10% to damage received for 10 counts. The healing is nice on this. Everything else is kind of not good. I mean, the damage received is fine. The blast damage and then the reducing key is kind of bad on that. Falling effects occur when changing cover. Destroys one card, okay. Seals enemies' blast arts for 3 counts. Reduces enemies' Dragon Balls by 1. And then minus 30% to health restoration. Yeah, this is a pretty powerful effect here. The end here. Destroys a card and seals blast cards. I mean, that potentially could be pretty powerful against Super 17, I guess. Yeah. Question mark for me, this guy. So he's getting 30% damage here. He's getting 90 here, 120. He's getting 20 here, 140. He's getting 40 here, 180. And he's stacking here. And then he's getting 30 here, 210. And then he's getting 30 here, 240. I mean, if you have everything lined up. Here's the problem with characters like this. So we actually have like a situation where a free-to-play character can potentially have similar damage inflicted to like a summonable character. The difference between being a free-to-play character and being a summonable character is you have 30% damage locked behind condition A, you have 30% damage locked behind condition B, then you have to, have Saturn aligned with Jupiter to get condition C active, and then you got condition E and then D, and then if everything is lined up and you got all the conditions ready, boom, your free-to-play character is doing damage comparable to summonable units. That's the difference. And if you're a summonable character, all you do is you guys want to see what you do as a summonable character? Here's what you do. You enter the battlefield, you get 100% damage. You enter the battlefield, you get 90% damage. Boom, he's at 190 already. And then he's stacking... where is it? It's down here. Then he's stacking 25% damage whenever he fills the unique gauge up, which is very free. Boom. That's the difference between a summonable character and a free-to-play character. Okay, I mean, free-to-play defense unit's not going to be too good, I would say, but he at least has some areas where I think he can be effective. Let's take a look at the Heat Dome Trunks next. Let's just go to red. Heat Dome Trunks, where are you? Where are you? Did I skip him? I can't actually. I have no idea. Here he is. Alrighty, let's see what you got here. Alright, so in the meantime, let me just quickly find this guy on the page that I could... Okay, I got him. So we could compare the pre versus post Zenkai stuff here. Alright, so has a lot of strike. Yeah, this has always been a problem for this Trunks, is look how different the strike and blast stats are. Obviously, his strike is going to be hitting very hard. We got to subtract the 13,000 here because this is a character that I actually have. So we're going to have to subtract away the full arts boost. So he's going to have 290k strike, which is very high. Like these days, Zenkai characters don't have stats like that. So that's pretty good. But then on the other hand, blast is going to be 254, which is pretty low for a Zenkai character. Defenses are looking pretty good, though. He's going to be at over 190 on both, so I'll take that. And then he's going to be buffing future Vegeta Clan hybrids, and then he's also on Super Saiyans. So he's on a decent amount of teams as well. Okay, so the blue card, let's just compare this. Okay, so it used to be major impact damage, now it's massive. That 30% special move damage upon activation is new. And then he's now getting inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 30% to damage received on hit. It used to be 20%. And it has blast armor. This actually did not used to have blast armor. So this actually got pretty significantly buffed. Now it's massive, it's doing extra damage, and it's increasing the debuff as well. And blast armor. Nice. That is a good buff there. This green card already was pretty good. Let's see what they change here. Following effects occur on a hit. Draws a strike cards next. That is new, actually. He did not draw a strike card here. Restores own ki by 50. That's the same. Restores own vanishing gauge by 60%. That is the same. And then inflicts all allies with... all allies and enemies with 3 subcounts. I am surprised that they kept the ally portion on this. That's clearly not a modern thing, right? I mean, you look at this and it's like, why would he increase his ally subcount on hit? Like, it makes no sense, but I guess they didn't want to change it. That's actually a good effect, though, because if you land this... then it's basically taking the place of cover null. Like, you don't need cover null on this if it's going to increase enemy sub count, right? Because you can safely combo a card after this, because the enemy's not going to be able to switch and cover change it, so that's good. All right, so the heat dome attack, let me just scroll down here. All right, so massive damage, 50% ultimate damage for 3 counts, that's the same. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors, that's the same. Cancels enemies' attribute upgrades and buff effects. That's new. So, no endurance nullification. Oh, and has blast armor. Yeah, this ultimate did not have blast armor. That is new too. Thank God he got that. Okay, let's jump over to the actual meat here. All right, so Ultimate Arts card Heat Dome attack, 25% health and 50 ki. So prior to Zenkai, this guy got no health and no ki on main. Huh, okay. Card draw speed by 1 level for 30 counts, that's the same. And then 100% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 10 counts, that is also the same. So he gets HP and ki. Thank God. I'm assuming it's going to be... What am I? I would not be surprised if this was like 3 different. Like this could be hybrids, Vegeta Clan, or future. The one we don't want to see is Red Cell Saga. That's the one we really do not want. Do not be Red Cell Saga. Okay, I'll take that. Red hybrids. That is, of course, going to be a buff to Beast. I believe he doubles Zenkai buffs, right? Yeah, hybrid Saiyan strike attack and defense 35%. That's a really good... This guy's going to be a really good bench character. Like, at the very least, this guy will be a very good bench character. He's going to give 75% strike attack and defense to Beast Gohan. That's pretty significant. That is very good. That team that people like to run a lot, where it's like Pan, Red Beast, and like Orange Piccolo or Pikkon, this is going to be one of the new characters you put on that bench. Like, this guy's replacing that, like, Red Janemba, I think, on that bench for that team. Or maybe in addition to him. All right. The final battle for Peace. 60% damage. That goes up from 30%. Reduces damage received by 60%. That goes up from 20%. 50% to ki recovery. That goes up from nothing. He did not have that before. And then card draw speed by 1 level. Yeah, that's also new. Okay, that's pretty good. Keep in mind that he actually did have 30% damage and then 20% strike damage. So they basically just combined that and gave him 10% extra on top. But what I'm looking at here, actually, 60% reduced damage received typically is not good. But for a character that's coming in with 190k to both defenses, like, that's not bad. This guy should be able to tank decently well, I think. Falling effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. 30% damage inflicted. Oh, there's the strike damage. And then 30% to strike damage inflicted. So he's entering the battlefield with 120% strike damage. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 40% health restoration for 30 counts. That's every time he enters the battlefield, right? That's a lot. So basically the entire enemy team is always going to have minus 40% health restoration. That's pretty strong, actually. He does an extra 30% damage to regen, which, I mean, depending on if we get like a new cell or not, that could be very good. And then applies the following effects to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed with current character. So 3 counts is -5 to all arts cost. 5 counts is 50% strike damage. So it used to be 8 counts at 30% strike. So now it's 5 counts at 50. And then we have 10 counts, 20% damage. That used to be 12 counts, 20% damage. So that's a lot of damage. He's getting 70% strike damage from this. The question... Oh, okay, no, never mind. I was going to say the question is, are these these? So it looks like these are actually cancelable buffs. Obviously, these are going to be resetting when the character switches out, but I mean, 10 counts. So if you have all these conditions fulfilled, you're getting 60% damage, you're getting 30%, 30%. So let's just count only strike damage. So he's getting 120% strike damage from there, and then he's getting 70 here. So he's going to be at 190 if you have all these up. Following effects occur when enemy switches characters while this character is on the battlefield. 30 key, and then reduce enemy key by 20. All right, so the new unique abilities. Following effects occur when enemy performs a cover change. Draws 1 new card. Randomly destroys 2 enemy cards. When the enemy performs a cover... Yeah, that destroying card thing is worthless there. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. There is a tag Hybrid Saiyan, Vegeta Clan, or Cell Saga battle member. Other than this character, which... I mean, you're never going to not have this condition fulfilled, right? Draws a special arts card next. Activates once. That's pretty good, because that green card you can use to gain priority. And you can also use it to pseudo lock somebody in. Oh, he has endurance. That's good. I definitely didn't expect that. Okay. He gets cover null. Nullifies enemy special actions when changing cover to self for 5 counts. That's really strong because he's also drawing the green card. Wow. Okay. Shortens ally subcount by 2. Activates twice. I'm actually... This is a pretty good unique ability here. Okay. Then the final one. Following effects occur upon landing a strike or a blast hearts hit. Draws 1 new card, activates once. It's like the Vegito Blue mechanic, I guess. Gets 5 key, plus 3 to all arts costs for enemies for 10 counts. Applies the following effects to self if own remaining health is 50% or below when hit by an enemy's arts attack. Activates once. Heals by 30%, 100% to the next strike arts damage inflicted. Applies buff effect, nullify normal conditions, cancels attribute downgrades. I actually kind of think this guy's going to be good. I'm pretty impressed by what they gave this guy. I didn't expect him to get nearly as much as they did, so he actually seems pretty good. And it's funny because this guy in release was pretty mid. This guy released next to that green first form Cell, and they both. I would say that the Trunks was definitely better than the Cell was, but like this guy wasn't necessarily the greatest release ever. So it's kind of nice to see them giving this guy some nice tools here with his Zenkai. He actually seems pretty decent. I'm gonna be excited to see how well he does. Okay, so we have those, and of course we have some new equipment we can go over. Let's go to the archive. All right. Is there not going to be a new PvP equip? Because it looks like, yeah, because I don't unless I'm missing something. Unless it's down more. Then this is the free-to-play Cell, right? Equip. No, it's not. Okay, wait, hold on. So Cell Saga Z. Blast defense 25%, health by 10%, health restoration by 10%, and then up to 10% to pure strike and blast defense if this character is a tag android or regen character. It's actually pretty good. Like, this is a really, really defensive equip. 25% to base blast defense, 10% health, 10% health restoration, then 10% to pure strike and blast defense if you're Cell, basically. Yeah, that's pretty good. If we get like a super tanky defensive Cell, I mean, they obviously want you to use this on the first form Cell, the free one. I don't think it's going to matter because that guy's free. But yeah, interesting. That I don't actually know if this is going to be this. Is this going to be the PvP equip? It might be. I'm not sure. It's not in the same area as normal PvP equips are in. Okay, so this is going to be the new co-op equip. What is what picture is this? Like, what is this from? Oh, the time machine. Okay, yeah, that's the Trunks time machine. So this is for Vegeta Clan. Okay. Vegeta Clan, you say? Remember that the campaign art for the Cell Saga campaign is Super Vegeta facing off against Perfect Form Cell. Special move, 10%, base strike defense, 20%, base blast defense, 20%, and then up to 12% to pure strike and blast when you have a full Vegeta Clan team. Yeah, obviously, if you're using Vegeta Clan, this is a must-use, essentially. So, you know, if you're a Vegeta Clan player, if you plan on using Vegeta Clan, I would definitely say farm 3 of these. Not the easiest thing to do, because co-op sucks, and I understand. For this equip, by the way, this co-op season was only up for a week. I skipped the max amount of times you could possibly skip the expert stage or whatever the hardest stage was. You could skip 100 times per day, so I skipped 700 times, and I only got 2 good rolls in slot 1. Just so you know. But yeah, that's obviously a very good equip. It's a pretty standard at this point co-op equip, but it's very good for Vegeta Clan, of course. We should have more, obviously. We know at least we're going to get the Vegeta. Yeah, here we go. All right, so this is going to be for Zenkai Yellow Super Vegeta. I'm anticipating that this is going to be an insane equip, but I don't imagine it's going to actually help too much because these equips have not necessarily been the greatest. I mean, so for like the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Goku, at least they're like usable now, but they're not competitive. That's the way I'll put it. All right. Health by 15%. We got both offenses at 60%, and then both defenses at 80%. Okay. Yeah, 80. So we're even pumping it up a bit more. Slot 2, inflicted damage 90%. Sustained damage cut 25%. Base key recovery at 50. Okay. Special move damage 30%. Ultimate damage 15%. That is a lot of damage. Okay, and then the final slot. Increase arts card draw speed by 1 level. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Draws a blast card next. Destroys 1 enemy card. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 15 to all arts costs for 5 counts. Affected by attribute downgrade, nullification, and cancellation. Okay, yeah, so basically the way these equipment slots work is all these buffs are uncancelable. Obviously, except for that. So if the enemy pops an ability that nullifies attribute downgrades or abnormal conditions or whatever, then they're going to get rid of that. But that's basically like Yellow Jiren's ability. It's pretty good. Okay, I mean, do I think this is going to all of a sudden skyrocket this Zenkai Yellow Super Vegeta to competitive levels? Absolutely not. But it'll probably put him on a similar level to how good the Super Saiyan 4s were, which is, you know, it's probably good enough. It's fine. That should be it, I think. Right? Let me just see. Yeah, there's no new Awakened equipment. Okay, so I think this Cell equip, like, this is probably just going to be the new PvP equip, right? I imagine. Because here's the Shenron equipment. So, probably. So is there no free-to-play equipment for the Cell, the first form Cell? I guess not. Let me just scroll down a little bit more. Maybe I missed it. Because this is where all the free-to-play equips are. I guess there isn't one. There probably already is one that he can use, I guess, is what that means. What is this? 2% 2, no. Is there one he could use? Event exclusive? No, it's the green. Let me see. No. Maybe there isn't, actually. No, this one? Oh, here we go. Yeah, event exclusive Cell Saga. So he can use this, the Android 18 one. That's why they didn't make a new one, I guess. But let me know down below what you guys think of all the stuff we're getting this week. The Heat Dome Trunks Zenkai Awakening, the free-to-play First Form Cell, and the unique equipment we went over here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.